Hey there, this is your teacher, Mr. H, and you're watching History in a Hoodie. Today's episode is about Asian governments, where we will learn all about who's in charge in Asian countries. I can't wait to find out, so let's get this show started. What are we learning about today? The standard for today's lesson asks the students to explain the role of citizen participation in autocratic and democratic governments. We will also describe the two predominant forms of democratic governments, parliamentary and presidential. Before we start, let's go over some vocabulary for today's lesson. An oligarchy is a government where only a small group are allowed to participate. Party form. Once again, and for the final time this year, in Asia, just like the Middle East and Africa, governments can be described based upon how many people are in charge. Just one, or every single citizen through the vote. An autocratic government has a single ruler. This single ruler has the ability to do anything they want without real limits. Generally, an undesirable world government. On the other hand, a democracy means literally rule by the people, which happens through frequent elections to determine who will run their government. If a country is a democracy, you will need to be able to identify whether it is a presidential system or a parliamentary system. Remember, sometimes the title of president is just thrown around and can cause confusion about the type of government you're actually investigating. So, to simplify things, you need to answer one question to determine your form of government. The person who has the final approval of the laws in a country, how did they get their job? In a presidential system, the person in charge got their job by an election of the citizens. In a parliamentary system instead, the leader of the government does not appear on the ballot for the citizens' votes. Instead, elected representatives select from themselves one leader in a separate vote. So what? How do these government systems apply to Asian countries? Both Japan and India are parliamentary democracies. Japan had an autocratic government ran by an emperor prior to World War II, but that emperor does not hold any power today, making the country also a constitutional monarchy like Britain. All lawmaking in Japan occurs in the Diet, their parliament. India is a little confusing because they have both a prime minister and a president, but the president is more involved in military leadership than running the government that the PM does. These democracies are fairly strong. Japan is an extremely successful country that developed around trade and manufacturing automotives and technology. India struggles with population-related issues, poverty, food sourcing, and pollution. South Korea is a presidential democracy modeled after our own government. The country is run by a president directly elected by the people. People have many rights and freedoms, including voting, engaging in political speech, and the ability to run for office. In very recent years, the South Korean government has faced some turmoil, as the government removed their president due to a corruption scandal. Otherwise, the country is also very successful and well led. North Korea is an autocracy run by a dictator, currently Kim Jong-un. Kim's grandfather, Kim Il-sung, was installed as the first communist dictator following World War II, and the family has ruled over the country with an iron fist ever since. Because the country is a dictatorship, the people have very little freedom. Families are expected to demonstrate their support for the communist government by displaying portraits of the Kim rulers in their homes prominently. Schools only teach lessons that support the communist government, and any citizen who speaks against the government are imprisoned or killed. China, our last country to speak to today, is a single-party communist oligarchy. An oligarchy is a government where only a few people get to participate. In the case of China, only about 86 million citizens of the 1.3 billion people are able to participate in selecting the leadership of the country. Those 86 million are members of the Chinese Communist Party, and they select the regional leadership, who select the party leadership, who then select the party leader who becomes the president. Because of this structure, the president answers to the high-ranking leaders of the CCP, leading to corruption. Those members of the CCP receive preferential treatment by the government, and those outside the party feel the government is unfair. But they don't say anything because the government treats opposition harshly. Wow, so learning about Asian government is really important for us to understand. I'm glad we learned it today. Are you ready for some review questions? Japan has an emperor that participates in many ceremonial activities but have little political power. The real power is given to the people in a document that separates powers and describes the setup of the Japanese government. Based on this information, what type of government does Japan have? What do the governments of India and Japan have in common? What sort of government is the People's Republic of China? Which Southeast Asian country could be described as an autocracy? What is the only political party in China? I hope all the rest of you learned a lot from today's episode of History in a Hoodie about systems of government in Asia. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Just kidding, I don't care about that stuff. But do make sure you study this lesson. Bye now.